One.
Yo, we're back with Chromebook coding for beginners, the color picker. I'm thinking I might make this its own little mini series. We had the beginner series, and now this is more like a color picker JavaScript on its own type series. It kind of doesn't go with just the beginner series, which kind of toured around good assets and websites. If you're just beginning, you want to code. This is kind of the next step, like actually doing something with it. But anyway, we have our color picker. We have our Ben palette, which is we talked about in the last video. So the Ben palette just takes these RGBA um, red, green, and blue values and rearranges them, and you get these sort of like colors that would go together. And I don't know if they're complementary or what you'd call it exactly, but that's the original. Then these are just the different arrangements of these three that you can have. Like 1, 2, 3 could be 3, 2, 1. It could be 2, 3, 1, and so forth like that. I just put a bunch of them like that, um, and it gives you like a cool little set of colors that you would use. Like I could see myself using some of these colors together. Like, I want to make a website. I'm going to use my base color is going to be, I like blue, so I'm going to go blue, like a blue green type thing. Yeah, that'd be a cool color for a website, like my base color. But what do I want to put like with it? So then I go down here and I go, okay, well, I can make a website like, I like this one and this one for my website. So right now I've got it where I haven't quite figured it out yet because I got to preface this as I am a beginner. I've been doing this for like not even a month since I started free code camp. So I'm like 3 weeks into actually doing anything with this stuff. But we've already made our button here, um, and that lets you copy to the clipboard if you just hit Control C and then enter to close the window. You've got your base color. Okay. Now I'm making it so this is the next step. This is where JavaScript gets crazy. I made it so I'm going to have to put something in here that lets the user know what's up. But if you click on one of these Ben palette squares, and right now I've only programmed this square. But if you click on this square, boom, it's going to give you the value of this. And you can see all I did was rearrange. It goes, instead of red, green, blue, it goes green, blue, red. And it would do it if you change if you changed your alpha. This would also change. Well, that's crazy. We've got two buttons now. Oh boy. But if you were just coming in and you got your base color and you just clicked it, you got your base color. In this case, we would say purple. And then you set an alpha of 0.6 or whatever and click this. It would reflect that. So right now, like in the coding, I'm also gonna have to fix something because each time you do this, it appends a new button to it. So I'm just getting to learn this stuff. But what we did was, these are the different squares, and on the second square, I put an on-click create text button function. So when you click it, it's going to run this function. So inside my JavaScript, I created a function called create text button, which creates the text in the button. And what it does is it takes the inner HTML of Ben's pal selection and sets it equal to the background color of the second square, which is the one you clicked on to begin with. And so Ben's pal selection in the HTML is just an H3 with nothing in it. So you don't see anything when the page loads. But when you click this and that function gets run, we're now setting the inner HTML to the actual background color, which was set above. And then we're defining a variable called the button, which is document create element, which I just found out you can do, which is crazy. And it creates a button. And then Ben's button.text content. So that's what would be in between your opening and closing button tags. Click to copy. So that's what the button says. And then you can set attributes. So I set an ID of Ben button. And then I actually set another on-click attribute. So I've set an attribute to something that hasn't even been created yet when you open the page, which is kind of crazy. And that's going to run the copy Ben pal function, which takes in Ben's pal selection, that inner HTML, which will be whatever the background is here. This is going to take in whatever it happens to be, depending on how you move the sliders. And then we're going to document body append child Ben button. So this just adds this button that we created to the document body at the end, which is where the page stops right now. So we don't need to get any further than append child on the body. Next to Ben button. And then copy Ben pal function is right here, which takes in whatever you want to call it, but I'm calling it Ben pal selection. And the prompt creates a prompt that says copy to the clipboard plus Control-C enter, just like that, with Ben's pal selection, which in this case is this right here. It's the inner HTML of Ben's pal selection, which again is set here. So when we run it, you're going to pick a color, orangey color, and Ben's palette says, okay, I can change the pointer on here to be a little hand too if I want. We say okay, boom. So right there, it just captured this color and its RGB code, and then we made that button. Then we click that button, and magically we get that, and we just hit Control-C, enter. Of course, you can always you could just go like this. If you wanted to as well. Either way, this is just kind of getting into just more. This automatically highlights it, so you don't have to. All you have to do is hit Control-C enter instead of highlighting something, which can be finicky sometimes. But either way, it's more just to explore what JavaScript can do than to actually make something that. Although I might use this now, it's getting to the point where it might actually be useful if I was making a web page and I wanted to get a color palette. So that's just some of the stuff that I'm learning. The create element and on-click function calls. All right, thanks.